you like my new shaft?
Pervert.
Yeah, right, whatever. Right, new prop shaft. As gearbox is oh so slightly longer, therefore the shaft needs to be slightly shorter.
Compared to the new one, you mean?
Yes.
The old one.
The old one, yeah, new one, new wallet.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so we've got two different ends. This is for a Mazda. This is for the Ford gearbox, the 4-speed. This one is 35mm OD. This one is 38. So although I could use that one, the seal to let oil out the back, but also you would end up with this, then when you load it, it's not running in the bearings correctly in the back end, and you end up spoiling the housing. So hence why we've gone for that. Also, it's balanced, where this one never was. And would you believe, although it's slightly larger diameter, it's actually oh so slightly lighter. So this one also had a donut on, so it's actually better not to have the donut and to have a UJ, universal joint. So quite pleased with that. And that was done locally at Boston. So quite pleased with that. So that's them two. Right. Then we get on to this lot. We've made a start on the wiring.
It looks like Spaghetti Junction at the minute.
Well, I'm not sure if these wires are long enough. What do you think? We could probably wire it from the boot, couldn't we? So, but these are mainly sensor wires. You've got those ones there which power the injectors, and then there's your trigger sense wire for your would you call it a tick wheel?
Tone wheel.
Tone wheel, right? We call it a sensor wheel, yeah, which is telling the computer where the engine is on rotation. And then these are different sensors. That one, for example, is an air temperature sensor. That one's the water temperature. Various sensors in there. So that's what the majority of these wires are, is sensing. So that going through and round to that side. Whereas these wires are powering relays. Hence the relays here. One relay for the fan on the radiator, because we've taken the fan which is connected directly to the engine off and using an electric fan. Also, you've got the pump in the boot of the car pumping fuel up to a slosh pot, what do you call them, slosh pot? Something like that.
I don't know quite what you
Swill
mean.
plate. Swill pod.
Okay.
Alright, so that the injection pump, which feeds the injection rail, has got a constant good supply of fuel, therefore it doesn't hunt and surge and pump air into the system.
Have you had to get a better lift pump for this?
So this, instead of having a lift pump, what you have, on the old engine it had a lift pump which was mechanical on the side of the engine, which just literally sucked the fuel from the tank and put it up to the carburetor where there was a float chamber, so as the floats dropped it let fuel in, when the floats came up it would stop. It's quite a simple device. This is a bit more complex, and we've got to maintain, I think it's 3 bar in the fuel rail, so that if there's 3 bar there and one of these little wires opens an injector, because they're magnetic valves, opens an injector, allows the fuel in. So we've got to have a better pump, and that's an electrically driven pump which is ran off of the ECU, which constantly runs to maintain that pressure. Okay.
Perfect.
Right. So we've got the relays here for that, fuse box for that, and over here what we've actually got is a coil pack. So we're going away from our distributor, which is a mechanical rotary device with an electronic ignition in it, to we're actually gone to here. So the spark, or the electricity for the spark, is made in here and then transfers down one of these wires to whichever spark plug is needed at that time. These are the wires, and they fire in pairs. So there's 2, 4, 6 there. So when that one fires, that one is also firing. So they fire together. That's what they call a wasted spark. So you fire 2 cylinders. One will be on compression stroke, as the other one is also coming up on exhaust stroke. So they both fire each time. And obviously only the one which has got compression and fuel will actually explode and make power. The other one is just a wasted spark because it's going out to exhaust. So there's all of that to do. So, yep, we're getting there slowly. Quite a few wires. but I'm trying to keep sensing wires away from any power supplies, just to stop any interference and things like that. Upon saying that, the sense wheel is a screened cable to stop resistance or any magnetic
sort of magnetic interference, isn't it?
yeah, coming through onto that sense wire, because that's on frequencies and things like that where it works. So okay, so it's mainly a wiring up job at the moment, and then we start on the fuel system, and then we start on the cooling, he says, hopefully. So we're doing quite a bit, and it's coming off night by night, but little by little, as it were. And then we're obviously making notes as we go to try and ensure that we can fault find anything if ever we have a fault or we get the wiring wrong. So trying to keep a record of it as well. So hopefully, if I get enough time off work this week, we might get this to run by the weekend. A thin chance. Oh no, because I ain't got the swirl pot here, so we can't do that yet. Oh dear, never mind.
Never mind.
Oh well. Right. Okay, I'm going for my dinner. What about you?
Alright, that'll do me.
Right. Spot on.
Spot on.